What's going on, everybody? It is Brendan. The channel is Dad Planet. I am the one-man show. If you're a new seller, first let me welcome you to the channel and thank you so much for tuning in. And I love all of you lifers, all of the old-time people that have been following me for this entire journey that I'm on. So as a reseller, I dabble in everything, right? When the garage sale season comes up, I'll start hitting garage sales. I love going to the retail stores in hopes of finding anything that I can flip online for a profit. You guys know the deal. But in this video, we're headed up to the Goodwill Bins, otherwise known as the Goodwill Outlet, where rather than pay by the piece, you end up paying by the pound. So you and I are gonna go up to the outlets. We are going to shop until we drop, like we always do on this channel. And I like some of the items that I have found in this video, some really unique items, one that is already sold for a ton of money, and a few that I have listed for pretty big money as well. Stay tuned for it. It is a beautiful day to go thrifting. Thank you all for joining me on this journey as we head into the Goodwill Outlet store. And yes, prices have gone up. They were $1.89 a pound. They are now $1.99 a pound. And we will continue on like we normally do. I wonder what everybody's bins prices are. I've heard $2.19 a pound, $2.49 a pound. I think it might be the highest price. Let me know in the comments what the prices are in your area, if they're different. I think they are pretty close to around $1 in most $1.99 a pound in most places. So yeah, let me know. First thing that I grab here, shout out to my commenters, everyone who like keeps it positive and also like gives out bolos of their own. I would not necessarily have known that Ralph Lauren Denim and Supply was in demand. It seems to be really popular right now. This is obviously a shawl collar cardigan. It's all black. Now, if this one had the cable knit design to it, I think I probably get anywhere from $80 to $150 for it, but it cleaned up beautifully. It's in really nice condition. And I have this listed right now for $60. I believe it is a woman's size small, but a beautiful piece and really in demand. So shout out to you guys and thank you for teaching me something that I would not have that automatically picked up. I think I might have completely passed this up previous trips to the bins. So good call on that. Hydraulic pants, I don't think that is a bolo, so I'm gonna leave those behind. This piece was pretty cool. I couldn't really identify it, and I like to try to move quickly, so if I can't, or if a garment doesn't identify itself readily quickly, I just move on from it. And so this is what I did here, but it was pretty neat. I think it may have come from one of those like Rubies or Spirit Halloween costumes. I'm not 100% sure. It looked pretty cool regardless, but I left it behind because I didn't know any better. And that happens from time to time. Next thing that I'm going to grab here, only reason I'm grabbing this is, well, there's two reasons. It's 100% cashmere, one, so it's nice and soft and light, and it's a 3XL. So Eddie Bauer is a pretty good bread and butter brand. This is just a ribbed long sleeve, button down, button front shirt. Nothing much to it. Very light, as I said. And I've seen some comparables in like the $10 to $15 range, but I'm going to ignore them. I'm going to list this for $30. I think that is a more appropriate price, and I could still sell it with the same amount of velocity as the $10 comps that I saw. So we're going to leave those behind. And I know some people would pick North Face up like this sight unseen. I'm going to leave this behind. I have so much of this. It's a women's medium, teal color. It's pretty. I think it had maybe a little bit of a stain on it, but I'm going to leave that one behind. Someone else can go ahead and grab that. I just have too much of that. And again, we're moving into spring and summer, so I'm going to be a lot less likely to pick up hoodies unless they're, really extremely valuable. So let's move over to the shoes here. Chunky soles is a trend, and this is a pair of Adidas that I've never seen before. So it's the Adidas Niza Trex, and there are actually none listed pre-owned, none that I could find with the style code for that shoe. So at any rate, I'm going to pick them up. They sell brand new in like the $70 to $75 range, and I'll probably end up listing mine for $25. I think that's fair. This, though, this is a major home run right here. This is a pair of very vintage, very 1970s Converse high tops. And now you can see there's some yellowing along the sides, and there's some wear on the soles that you will see eventually. I'm going to show you what the insoles here look like. There's a shot of them. and in this condition, and I left them exactly in the condition that they were when I photographed them. These sold within hours for $213. Purple, very vibrant colors. They photographed extremely well, and I had like 5, 6, 7 watchers within like an hour. And there's always maybe the not misconception, but the assumption that if they sell that fast, they were listed too low. I did a lot of research on 1970s Converse, and it looked like the low tops sold for a higher price using Terapeak and going back 2 years worth than the high tops did. But I thought listing them in the $250 range made sense based on what I had seen on the eBay platform. And then I sent out an offer and someone grabbed it. So they still sold for $213. Isn't that amazing? I mean, what did they cost me here? $1.50, $2? So I'm extremely blessed, extremely happy for that sale. Keep your eye out for vintage Converse. No, you do not have to touch them up or get them extremely clean. Lots of buyers want them in that exact condition, and I think that's what we found in this case. So amazing sale. I'm very, very fortunate. And we're gonna keep checking the shoes. This rotation had already come out, by the way. So I had already grabbed a few pairs of shoes. You won't see them in this video, but I went back and then I saw those Adidas and I was thinking to myself, all right, that's a trend, chunky sole, let me grab those. And I saw the Converse just sitting there. I wish I could have found this match because I couldn't have. Now this is a more recent style, but I couldn't find the other shoe, so I had to leave that behind. And when you are sourcing shoes at the Goodwill Outlet, it is forever a struggle to try to find the other shoe. So had to drop that one. We'll keep moving on here. I don't know if there's anything else that I remember that I picked up. I don't see anything. Sometimes the camera doesn't show the condition that well. So let's move over to the bags and handbags and hats. And this rotation also had already come out. So this is my second go through and I found an absolute home run. So this is a Cleveland Cavaliers, very vintage, very 90s, very 80s sports specialties script logo hat. It is the Pro. Solid color blue with the orange script writing. Now, this hat recently sold at auction for $156, but if you go back in 2 years to Terapeak, the most someone has ever spent on that exact hat is $320. Now I can tell you, I really want to list that hat for $320, but I'm gonna list it for $200. I see it selling in the $200 range more than I do the $320 range, and I know that that's a deviation from how I would normally price because I really want to be up in that upper echelon. But I think it sells in a more realistic time frame in the $200 range. That's the only reason I'm going to list it in that case there. Now, if that was like the Los Angeles Raiders or the Los Angeles Kings sports specialties, you can bet I would be at the absolute top of the pricing mountain there. But we're going to come in at $200. I'm pretty confident that I can sell that for $200. I actually picked this hat up too. I forgot about it. This is an Ebbets Field flannels fitted hat. I think the size was 7 3/8. I don't remember if I show it to you here. But this is the 1940s logo from the Tokyo Giants. It's a reproduction hat, but they sell for $55 or so brand new on Ebbets' website. And so I'm going to list mine for $30, which I think is very fair. And it's in decent condition. It does have, we got to get rid of a little bit of the fluff on there, maybe give it a wipe down, but it was in pretty nice condition. I've already photographed it and listed it, but $30 I thought would be more than fair for that hat. Those Ebbets Field hats, they are a bolo, so please keep your eye out for those. I like the North Face glove here, but again, I couldn't find the other one, so I had to ditch it and move on to the next round of stuff here. This was a nice Ohio State hat by the game, but I left that behind too. I don't pick up every Ohio State piece that I find. There's lots of it here in the area since we're in Columbus, but I left that one behind. This is also a bolo. Please keep your eye out for these LL Bean canvas bags, especially the really long ones. I think this one was over 30 inches. Unfortunately, it has damage. If it didn't have the damage, I would definitely be picking this up and listing it for $100. I've sold a bunch of these in my time, so I know it is a bona fide bolo, an item you want to keep your eye out for. That 30 incher, I was probably like $100 to $120 into that one if It didn't have the damage. I am not going to mess with trying to get that thing fixed. I have better things to do with my time, so I'm going to leave that behind. And you know what? The little damage that I did feature there might not have deterred a buyer, so maybe I made a mistake there. I got really lucky though with this straw hat here, this GG Pid. This is Brett's, a brand new to me hat. I had never seen that before. The style is Isla, and looks like brand new. They sell for $50, $60, $70 on eBay, and that was brand new with the tag, so I'm definitely keeping that. That was a super lucky find there. And we'll move on to a couple of bins that had already come out here, and this big oil, like waxed oil coat, really caught my eye. The brand is Drizzabone. It's a riding coat. It is an Australian brand. That size 7 is an indication that it is a men's XL. You can feel it to the touch. It's, you know, oily and waxy. It photographed beautifully, and these sell pretty well for $100 plus in a lot of cases. So I have mine listed, and there you can see the care instructions right there. It's still readable, although I believe the person that purchases this is probably going to have a good idea on how to care for it. But $120 on that. Amazing find there. Just kind of sticking out, very, very long. It's sort of hard to get an indication of true condition when I'm shooting through my iPhone like I am here, but it was a fabulous coat. Super lucky find. I'm happy with that. And I'd say this was one of my better, or more, I would say, higher quality trips to the Goodwill Outlet than normal. Not much bread and butter, but a lot of it very high value, even in just the 8 or 9 things featured in this video. So it was a good haul. We'll total everything up here at home in just a second. I'll take you through just a few of the things that I didn't catch on camera. We're not going to comp all of these out because I haven't done the research on some of these items yet, but an interesting pair of Adidas here. They look vintage, but they're not. They're just a reproduction of a vintage style. So I grabbed those. Grabbed this Hooters hat, more than a mouthful, Clearwater Beach. I liked the embroidery on the front, so snagged that. Adobe Gillis, I think this was like a brand around here locally that went out of business. They might still be in business, but there are a couple of locations that used to be here and have now since closed. So yeah, this says Columbus on it, so this will be a local thing here. Polo Ralph Lauren, little toddler hat. Gosh, I don't even know the size of this one, but super cute. Grabbed that. Vintage New York Yankees trucker hat. Amco is the style, and ANNCO. I don't know what this will be worth. I mean, this could be $200. It could be $20. I'm not really sure. I thought this was hilarious. Amber Ale. So I definitely grabbed that. I think there's a lot of people that would enjoy this humor in addition to maybe actually enjoying the Amber Ale that is this brand. So grab that. Cincinnati Reds, Pride hat, adjustable back there. Pick that up. Saturn hat, brand new with tags. It's a little bit dusty, so it needs to be cleaned up just a little bit. And then I forgot about this. Another Cleveland Indians, very old, like 1940s logo hat from New Era. I'm going to guess and say this is going to sell between $75 and $90, but I'm not going to include it in the total at the end of the video because I haven't done the research on it. But you guys have seen me sell this type of hat before at around, what, $60? And this style is a little bit different and unique. I haven't really seen one like this before, so I'm not sure where this will land, but that was a fun find too. So just one more pair of shoes and a couple of additional hats. All right, so everything featured in that video came to just over 10 pounds. So I spent roughly $20 on everything. And if you include the pair of Converse that I have already sold for over $200, my total listed value for everything you saw in the video today comes to $738. So amazing haul, and I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much for tuning in. Brendan here, Dad Planet, the one-man show. Hit that like button if you liked what you saw or you learned something today, and then always consider becoming a member of the Dad Planet family by subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon so that you know every single time I upload a video to YouTube. But that is it. That's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.